made. SB and Sean breaking through the noise, serving real talk, the genuine choice. No pretense, no hidden schemes, just sports passion fueling dreams. From the field to the court, every play that's made. Real takes over fake debates. Turn it up, hear the honest sound. Unfiltered sports all year round. Discussions pure, no masquerade. Real takes over fake debates. Turn it up. Over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates.
And we are live. Sbtalksports and Sean Webb. Real takes over fake debates. We are coming at you live on multiple platforms, but let the lady tell you real quick.
Real Takes Over Fake Debates has invaded the audio podcast world. Add Real Takes Over Fake Debates on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and iHeartMedia. Leave a 5-star review and comment below. New episodes every Monday and Friday.
Like she said, every Monday and Friday. And guess what today is? It is Monday. Sean, how you doing, brother?
Doing great, SB. Got that terrible. Well, never mind. I ain't gonna go into that. But doing good, SB. Happy Monday to you and pre-election day. How you doing, man?
I'm chilling, man. I see you in your Saints gear. I know the hint that you're saying. I see the Saints gear. I'm okay. I'm hearing a couple NFL trade rumors. A rival team in my Chargers division is going to soup up their team again. I'm starting to get to a point where how they keep getting away with all this stuff that they're doing, but we gonna get to that point when we get to the trade deadline tomorrow at was it 4 p.m.
Eastern? Yeah, 4 p.m. Eastern.
4 p.m. Eastern time. So we're gonna wait till the 5th. So we're gonna wait. Yeah, the 5th. We're gonna wait till the 5th. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute Tiff. Salute Ben. Salute Go James. Let's get right into it. So I know you guys see the title. It's about Saquon Barkley. We're gonna argue that he dropped one of the greatest highlights of all time. But we got some more important NBA news to get in real quick. Spurs head coach Gregg Popovich reportedly is out indefinitely after a weekend of health issues. He will not be with the team during his road trip. Sean, what is your reaction? From every article I've seen so far at this moment, they didn't disclose what exactly is going on with the health issues. Obviously, you know, Pop has been in the league for a while. Pops is in his 70s. So I know when they say health issues, that's a big concern, especially somebody at his age. He's still kicking in the league, still doing a great job, still dropping the knowledge. I got him as the greatest coach of all time. So wishing him prayers, wishing him for a healthy recovery. But what was your reaction to this? And also, would it be if this come up again, should Pop consider retiring?
To answer your second question, SB, yeah, I think he would certainly weigh this. From what I was able to find out was essentially the organization basically saying that it was a health issue, but what he really needs right now is some rest. Mm-hmm. As you mentioned, the grind of coaching and the NBA season, and given, and again, not that we're not, playing the ageism game, age ain't nothing but a number. But certainly you want to be, mindful of, his health and things of that nature and the stress that comes with, with coaching, things like that. Pop isn't just one of the greatest coaches ever. He is in my opinion, one of the greatest people to use his platform for, pushing things forward socially, and things of that nature. So I'm a huge Pop fan, outside of basketball, more than basketball. For me, it's bigger than basketball, but certainly, you wish him well. Hopefully he's, and again, he strikes me as someone, the way he talks, it's something he's not going to take lightly.
No.
But I think he still loves the work. He still loves, the grind. He still loves teaching and coaching. And so I don't think he'll necessarily try to bow out, but definitely one of those things where he wants to be, very mindful of his health.
Yeah, no, I think we have to definitely health is wealth more than anything. Pop, you had some intro legacy, and I know, like you said, he's helping out these other guys here, and he's like to have Pop right there, especially a player like Wemby, knowing what he helped with, like the Tim Duncans, the David Robinsons, the Ginobili's, the Tony Parkers, especially Wemby being a foreign player too. Because I don't care what nobody said. Gregg Popovich made you respect. I know players that got better, but Gregg Popovich made you put respect on players overseas. Because early 2000s, they weren't getting that love like that. Tony Parker didn't come in the league and get no love. He wasn't no threat. They didn't look at him like a Luka. They didn't look at Ginobili like that. But he helped establish the foreign players too to be like legit threat. Now people go back and look at it now and be like, oh man, Tim Duncan had Ginobili, Tony Parker, Boris, yeah, players like that. But at that moment, during the time in the early 2000s, they weren't getting love like that. So that's why I always tip my head to Tim Duncan and Gregg Popovich too, because we give overseas players like crazy love now because the game has advanced so much. But people don't forget that it wasn't the case like that. They was minor to us. It was like a minor league to us. But just talk. Present wishes to the GOAT coach, Gregg Popovich. Now on to the next one. Jayson Tatum, my favorite player right now, since Derrick Rose retired. Well, it's been his rookie year, but whatever, since 2017. But Jayson Tatum was on the Club 520 podcast, Jeff Teague podcast. Good podcast too, by the way, Sean. I'm not gonna lie. Club 520, it's pretty funny. Jayson Tatum was on there, and he was talking about the time where the Celtics traded for Gordon Hayward. And this when he was going into Summer League. He said he called his agent and was like, hey, man, trade me. I want to be here. It's crazy to me that this ain't the first time Jayson Tatum has continuously alluded that he never wanted to be in Boston. He never wanted to be in Boston. He always said he wanted to go to Phoenix. I really think he wanted to go to the Lakers, but during the Lonzo Ball hype, he knew he even said he knew that they was gonna take Lonzo anyway. But why is Jayson Tatum just look? It worked out better for you. You got you a championship. You've been competing for a championship since you've been in the league. A lot of people can't say from you came in the league at what, like 2021. You was competing from day one championships. And then by the age of 20, he's 26 now, not even fully, like he's entering his full prime now, and still can compete. Like they the favorites right now. A lot of people can't say that. So be happy where you're at, first of all. But why does he keep alluding that he didn't want to be in Boston so much, Sean?
So I think it's not so much that he's not happy where he is. I think he's very happy where he is, SB. I think sometimes when you go on these podcasts or these shows, oftentimes you want to tell the story nobody may know or there's not wide knowledge about, because that's how you trend and that's how you get people to click and things of that nature. It was widely reported that during the draft process he really wanted to go to Phoenix. I think he really wanted to be in Phoenix. Devin Booker was there. Phoenix was kind of a mess at the time, to be very frank, but he wanted to go to Phoenix. Didn't end up in Phoenix. Certainly ended up in Boston. Things worked out the way they're supposed to work out. I know why guys do it. I am not personally the biggest fan of it because, again, at the end of the day, living in the what if world and if was a fifth, we'd be drunk. So who cares? It's one of those things where I just think, again, I understood maybe his point because his thing was like, hey, you drafted me. I'm coming in to be your franchise player, but you go out and you get somebody else who ostensibly plays the same position as me. So I understand, why you might feel some type of way about it. But things worked out the way they were supposed to work out ultimately. And,
Go say Phoenix. Who was there in Phoenix? Nobody. Playing time.
Devin Booker. Yeah, Devin Booker.
Devin Booker and playing time. He knew he was gonna play, but it did. I think he went to the best situation for him in his career wise. So now, him going to Boston probably was the best thing for his career, and setting him up. If he stays on track for what he's doing right now, he's gonna easily be a Hall of Famer. And then with Boston, once you win one, ask the 08 team, they're gonna milk that championship. You solidified because they're gonna milk that championship. The 08 Celtics still milking that championship. Shout out KG. I love KG, Paul Pierce. But man, they act like they was a dynasty. They act like they just did. I'm like, bro, y'all won one. Y'all got that one off. But on to the next one. Austin Rivers, speaking of athletes and podcasters and saying things, Austin Rivers said on his podcast, I don't know the name of his podcast. Sorry about that, Austin. Probably just the Austin Rivers podcast because he's been on and off like doing it, or they haven't been seeing it like that. So excuse me, I'm sorry. But the Austin Rivers podcast, he was on there talking about Cat and Jokic. He said he believed Karl-Anthony Towns has greater skills than Nikola Jokic. And he literally begged the question, like, what does Joker do better than Cat? And I'm like, okay, so him and his co-host get the debating on there, right, Sean? And he was like, oh, yeah, Jokic got the pass. Yeah, Jokic got the pass. But then he was like, but can he shoot better than Cat? Cat one of the greatest shooting big men. He was like, Jokic shoot, like he was saying Jokic numbers. But I'm like, okay, even if I give Cat shooting, and you could really have a conversation about that from why Cat numbers, like shoot numbers, look the way they do, attempts, how the attempts come open, because he's getting guarded as a second option. And then I can't think of nothing else. Karl-Anthony Towns is not an elite defender, and I cannot say that for Jokic. But Jokic's impact on the floor overall with his skill set and IQ dominates the game and demand win. I can tell you one thing that Joker can do that Cat can't do: lead the team to the playoffs, lead the team to a championship. Because as the number one guy, because we seen Cat as the number one guy, lottery spot, lottery team. I said, oh, no, and that's no shot at Cat. There's no shot at Cat. They just traded Cat to go be a number two option to Brunson. And they said, no, you're not the guy. We're going to build around Ant. Ant has the skill set to be a star. Jokic's skill set is a superstar. This dude is literally the best player in the league for a reason. And then when everybody got on Austin Rivers' head about it, he was like, no, calm down, y'all. I just said Karl was more skilled, but Jokic's still the best player in the league. No. Stand on your take, brother. Don't just be talking outside of your neck. Stand on your take and mean what you say and say what you mean. But that was bull. That didn't make no sense to say that. More skilled than Jokic is crazy. Jokic literally playing point guard at center. Runs the offense, Sean. Gets the rebound, run the offense, set up the play, get everybody set. I see Cat do that on a consistent level or at an elite level, Sean. So he lost me a little bit on this one. I'm sorry, he lost me on this one. It's more skilled, crazy. Only thing you can argue is shooting.
Can I ask you a question, SB?
Mm-hmm.
You have a favorite movie all time, like an all-time favorite movie?
All-time favorite movie? If I'm thinking right back off top of the head right now, it had to be between The First Hangover or Step Brothers.
First Hangover, Step Brothers. Okay. Would you say either of those movies are in the conversation of the greatest movies of all time?
No.
Mm-mm. You enjoy the movies. Mm-hmm. It's a really good movie. You can rewatch the movies over and over again, probably laugh at some of the same parts.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, those movies are not in the pantheon of the Godfathers and the Shawshank Redemptions and those type of movies. That is literally what we're doing here, comparing Karl-Anthony Towns to Nikola Jokic.
He lost his badge, Sean.
I don't know what the purpose of it was, short of just creating a fake debate for content, which we don't do. Which we don't do over here.
Mm-hmm.
Real takes over fake debates.
Yes, sir.
So, and you also know I generally don't rank players while they're in the middle of their career, like all time. Mm-hmm. I don't rank them all time. But if Joker retired tomorrow, if Joker retired tomorrow, I think Joker would be one of the top 7 centers of all time.
Yes, easily.
I could argue he's right there with Moses Malone all time. Right now. Karl Anthony Towns, for as good a shooter as he is, and he's a really good shooter, will be nowhere near that conversation when all is said and done. What are we doing?
Capping. Talking out the side of our neck, honestly.
What are we doing?
Fake debate.
And I think this also proves that just because you played in the league does not mean you always know what you're saying.
A blind man can see. It's not close. Skill-wise, it's not close.
Like, the gap is wider than Michael Strahan's. Like, this is, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
And other thing that blew me out too, Sean, is that he didn't stand on his tape. Because, like, everything we talk about when it comes to sports, people got to realize it's opinionated. We all opinionated. But if you bring your facts with your opinion, that's mean you fighting your case for it. But don't never backtrack on your statement. Now, when people put that heat on you, no, stand on your tape. Come with some facts to prove that. And don't just be talking outside of your neck. Talking outside of your head, because then those things will attack you. It's simple math. You comparing the best player in the league and the main, just manage you, Karl Anthony, athletic ability wise, their space and how bad athletically less gifted Jokic is to Karl Towns. Jokic can't jump over a pea. He made Cat look like he got LeBron James athletic. So that's how bad he's not athletic. He's the best player in the league. He's not athletic at all. So what else does he live off of? His skill set. Everything else he live off it. Like,
right. And again, if you want to just make it about skills, that's a very small part of it from ESB. Because the other part where there is no competition is between the ears. There was a play the other day where Joker was literally SB. I think they were playing Minnesota. Minnesota's coming back out. He's literally calling out Minnesota's set. And there's some audio of Anthony Edwards like talking about how in the world he knows this and blah blah blah. And somebody in the background says because he watches film and literally talking about Joker's mind for the game. Like he is Bron level intellect when it comes to the game of basketball. So it's not even just his skill set. You combine his skill set with between the ears. This isn't even a discussion.
No, it's not. And it's even worse than a discussion that he don't even care.
Yeah, and I don't say
it's a job.
I don't say he doesn't care. I think he cares. He's just not someone that outwardly shows it in that way, right? Because I don't think you can show up and do what he's done the last. Like we can, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on this SB. We can legitimately say that the last 4-year run, there's not a single player in the NBA who's had a better 4-year run than Nikola Jokic.
In recent years, or
no? I'm saying this last 4 years.
Oh,
3 MVPs and 3 out of 4 MVPs, and the 1 year he doesn't win the MVP, they win the championship, and he's the Finals MVP. So, what player in the last 4 years has had that type of run in the NBA? I'll wait.
And really should have wanted that MVP that year. The year after that, they made up for it by giving it to him the next year. But nah,
yeah. And I don't like to argue who should have won the MVP because again, that's the standards for the award change every year. I'm just saying that when we talk about Joker, Karl Anthony Towns ain't nowhere near that conversation. And I like Karl Anthony Towns. I think Karl Anthony Towns is a fantastic basketball player, but it's levels to this.
I agree. I do bring it up because what type of conversation we having if you'd have won 3 in a row, and then in that third year he won the 3 in a row? That's when he won a championship in the finals. What type of conversation we having about Joker? It's a whole different type of conversation we having.
Right, you're talking about Joker in the Larry Bird conversation because Larry Bird was the last one to win 3 in a row. So Joker, technically, I mean,
he gonna be in that tier 3, tier 2 player all time. I know we do tiers. He gonna be in tier 2, tier 3 if he would have pulled that off. Not gonna lie, he would have been in that tier where he's like, oh yeah, no, he's one of the greatest players to ever play. But let us know what y'all think about that. Who is more skilled, Karl-Anthony Towns or Nikola Jokic? Now, Sean, we got to switch over to the football. Now let's get to the football stuff. Shedeur Sanders seemingly just declared for the 2025 NFL draft. Wait a minute. It's right here in front of me. Matter of fact, I want you to actually see the video, Sean. Hold on. Let's see. You got the IG. Would it pop up? Let me see. So they was in practice, and it had to be Warren Sapp. Warren Sapp, because I know that voice. Every time Warren Sapp got like a unique voice. You know it's him when you hear him. So he was just like, oh, make sure y'all get y'all registration for class. Shedeur looked right in the camera and said, I'm not going to be here.
Hey, real quick, listen up. 8:30 a.m. registration.
No, we got to be here. We can submit it.
I'll be in the league. Hey, registration. I know after the last game, man, y'all not going to see me.
Hey, man. Hey, real quick, listen up.
And I like how they had the Magic Johnson meme with the I ain't gonna be here. That one, I like that. I like that meme in the comment section. But I'm not gonna lie. Oh, some quarterbacks been looking, and if we can look at team standings, it's a lot of jobs gonna be available. I'm sorry, Shedeur not gonna be available for a lot of teams, only because I know how his father, Coach Prime, is not gonna let his son go to a bad situation. Or Travis. So Giants, you might as well call it when y'all ain't getting them. I don't know about Cleveland, because I honestly, this quarterback class is nice. But if I'm Cleveland, I start Jameis, and then I take one of these quarterbacks later, let them sit and develop. Because I know with Shedeur popularity, you're gonna have to play him. But what's your reaction to Shedeur pretty much announced that he's going to the league? I'm not shocked. I'm just like, I mean, we know that, bro.
Not surprising at all. I mean, I think right now, if you were doing mock drafts, and I tend not to go overly crazy over mock drafts, particularly this time of year. And generally, I don't go crazy over mock drafts because, a lot of it is not so much what guys are hearing from teams or seeing. They're basically, giving their own evaluation of situations. But I would expect Shedeur Sanders to be at minimum a top 3, top 5 pick. He knows that. His father knows that.
Trying to force his way to the Raiders,
the state of Colorado knows that. Buffalo Nation knows that. So I don't see anything crazy about what he said right now. I would say it's probably between him and Cam Ward, who'll be the top quarterback taken. But obviously, there's still a long way to go, not just in terms of the college season, but also the off season with teams doing their evaluations and pro days and combine and again, guys visiting different situations. So I don't necessarily see anything wrong with what he said, but by all accounts, short of some miracle happening, I think he's easily a top 5 pick in this draft.
So don't go register for class, brother. You're going to the league. And also, this is another thing I like. The crazy thing that I think about with the era we in when it comes to player development or quarterbacks. So Cam Ward is having a great year, outstanding year, right?
Yes.
And any other time, some quarterback, even they get paid now, but any other time, somebody okay, let me double back down on this and then develop even more. But now it's I'm like this Anthony Richardson situation, for example. He knew at this point in time, hey, the bag is here. I'm a top pick. I gotta go. So same with Cam Ward. Cam Ward, I don't want Cam Ward to stay. Even if he loved you, get up out of there. You at the top of the draft board. Go ahead, go. I know people can say you could add this, that. Same thing with Shedeur. But Shedeur, third year now? He might not need to stay no more. But just use the example. I think sometimes in this era, if you at the top of the draft, just go. just go. Because I think the guy from Georgia is dropping. Carson Beck. I believe he's dropping because of this year. It's not like one of his best years. He dropping, but he's still gonna get drafted, maybe somewhere in like the second. But because in this era, Sean, they want players to come out and just be stars off bat instead of just giving people time to develop. Because I know even Tom Brady complained about that. And that's the only thing I do hate about this era. So now it's like, I don't care what's the year going on. If you at the top of that draft and you can go. Don't even wait and be like, oh, I want to stay 1 year, sharpen up this one. No, just sharpen up in the league.
And I would say this, SB, and again, I know a lot of people are going to look at this year versus last year for Carson Beck.
Mm.
That's part of the evaluation, right? Is for the scouts and these front office personnel to figure out, why there's a difference. Was there a drop in talent? Were there things mechanically that might have changed? Was there a change in offensive philosophy? So that's all a part of the process. When they get Carson Beck or anybody in their building, and they get him on the whiteboard and they get him, he's going to be probably very impressive. Even if the film this year is not as great as it was last season, that is the nature of it. Ultimately, these teams know the value of having a quarterback with talent. The question is, to your point, SB, is this organization in the position to develop this young man into what they project him to be? I don't believe young quarterbacks fail organizations. I believe organizations fail young quarterbacks. And there's too much evidence of it, to be very frank. And we're seeing it, play out really right in front of our eyes. I don't want to go into specifics, but there needs to be greater conversation about that. But also part of the conversation is why some organizations seem to develop quarterbacks better than others. What have they figured out that, organization B hasn't figured out yet? I think that's all a part of it. But that said, Shedeur, I think, is going to end up in a, probably a really good place, because I could see a team, maybe, from 6 to 10, potentially trying to move up to get him or Cam Ward, for example, if they, again, get them in the building and feel like this is a guy we don't want to miss out on. But even with that, you still got to have an organization that is built to develop, a young quarterback.
And a lot of them don't. Develop quarterbacks. And also, the only thing the people in the past benefit from is that they did the social media era went crazy, and teams actually had patience with some players who needed patience. Because I can tell you right now, if Peyton Manning played in this era, we would have never seen how great Peyton Manning was, because he would have been gone. They would have not had patience, would not waited with him, nothing. They would have been calling for him to get benched. We just see two high drafted quarterbacks benched this year, right?
I would say this. I think when you are considered the royal family of quarterbacks, you get a little more leeway.
Oh, okay. So that's what it was. So if his name wasn't Manning and his name was Jeff, I don't know. I can think of that Jeff. So he'd be Peyton Jeff. We would never. We probably never heard of him. Like, it's probably a Peyton Jeff somewhere that we never heard of. That's it. Yeah. But Sean, your Saints. I'll see you with the Saints gear. All the Saints players has been going on a Twitter rant. I meant to ask: Is Michael Thomas on the Saints or not no more? Right?
No, he's out of the league.
That was crazy that Michael Thomas is like out of the league. Well, I know it's mainly because of injuries. He was once raved as the best wide receiver in the league to now to not be in the league. He had a lot of tweeting, definitely calling out Derek Carr. He was just talking about pretty much how bad the team is, and he wasn't the only one, because your Saints lost to the Panthers. And it got so bad. I don't want to go off every rant that was said on Twitter, but the most important rants that I've seen that multiple players said, they was apologizing to the city of New Orleans that they lost to the Panthers. Is losing to the Panthers that bad where you have to apologize to the city that you playing for? Is losing to the Panthers that bad? You have to apologize?
I think, SB, when you're on a 7-game losing streak, and that 7-game losing streak is capped by a loss to a team that you manhandled first game of the season. I'm not surprised guys didn't came out and said what they said. That said, you have to give the Panthers credit. They definitely came out. Bryce Young played really solidly, solid football. Certainly, Chris Olave going out yesterday was a big blow to the offense, which I'm not going to get into that right now. It's not a good look, right? And again, the Saints aren't having a great season.
No.
But I think pretty much everyone penciled in the Saints beating the Panthers yesterday, and that didn't happen. And it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. Now, there was some icing on the cake that came out as a result, which I know we're going to talk about here in a second.
Oh, I can pull it up. You want to announce it? I'll pull it up.
Go ahead.
The icing on the cake that Sean's talking about is that New Orleans Saints has fired head coach Dennis Allen after 7 straight loss. Sean, this your lane. You can have it. I'm chilling on this topic. My opinion is I'm not shocked. That's all I gotta say. This is you. Go ahead.
SB, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because this isn't a Saints podcast. There's plenty of those out there. But I will say this certainly was a long time coming. I think the run that the Saints went on late last season turned out to be a bit of fake hustle, if I can use that term. And there was a lot of hope coming into this season that, if you get rid of Pete Carmichael, then you upgrade to Clint Kubiak. In the first 2 games, it looked like, wow, the Saints are on to something. But as I stated before, and I'll say again, coaching is not about how you handle things when you're winning. It's about how you handle things when things aren't great. I've been very clear. Dennis Allen couldn't manage a Dairy Queen. I stand firm on the fact that Dennis Allen could not manage a Dairy Queen. He should have never been the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. He was but I also don't want to discredit the fact that he's a very good defensive coordinator, and he will land somewhere next year as a defensive coordinator, which is where he should be. He should never be the manager of the store. He can be the assistant manager in charge of the mop. But he should never be the manager of the store. I don't like to see somebody lose their job because obviously that affects a family and things like that. But Dennis Allen is going to be fine. He will be a coach, a defensive coordinator in the NFL next year. Honestly, after what he did in Oakland and New Orleans, if any team hires him as their head coach again, the ownership and the front office should all have their brains checked because it's very clear he is not a head coach. And that's okay. That's okay. But I'm glad he's gone. I would help him pack his office, but I'm glad he's gone.
So make sure you don't leave a penny, don't leave a pen, don't leave nothing.
It would be Angela Bassett in Waiting to Exhale, literally. Literally, when Angela Bassett was packing all her husband's stuff and getting out of the house, that's how I would help Dennis Allen pack his office.
That is hilarious.
Goodbye.
Now, it's another coach and another fan base might be saying the same thing because another week of the Bears losing and their offense looking terrible all the way around. Honestly, you can't just say their offense. They just all around look bad. Is the Matt Eberflus era over in Chicago?
Hard to say it's not trending that way, SB.
Let's see heating up.
Definitely heating up. And again, we had this conversation 6 months ago or, really probably early part of this year. whether or not the Bears should have retained Matt Eberflus, given you had the number 1 pick. It was likely you were going to take Caleb Williams and bring in a rookie quarterback to be your starter. That they should have brought in a new head coach and tied those guys together from day one. Bears decided not to go in that direction. I don't think one game gets a coach fired and makes a team replace a coach. But when you just look at that division, Detroit and Green Bay and even Minnesota, I think have some of the best head coaches in the league. I wouldn't put Matt Eberflus in that conversation. And I think the Bears understand to compete, they're going to have to probably try to find, an upgrade and someone who's not just coming in just for Caleb Williams, because it can't just be totally about Caleb Williams. He's the quarterback, not disputing that it's not the most important position, but it really needs to be about, can you build a winning culture and a foundation, given that you're in the toughest division now in football, in all honesty. So, is Matt Eberflus' era over in Chicago? I'm not, putting dirt on the man's grave or anything like that. But I do think that casket is getting warm and ready.
Don't worry, I'm the Undertaker. I'm gonna put him right in there. It's over. It's over. We ain't gotta waste time no more. The only hesitation, and I was just saying, I was talking about the guy. Why is his name blanking me? But he just left the Score and went to the Fox. He brought it up. Danny, yeah. He brought it up. And I was like, that's why he kept his job right now. Because I think any other team been gone, but because they don't want to ruin Caleb by giving him too many different coaches, that's very understandable. Because you can ruin your quarterback like that. Hopefully the Chargers found our guy, because I want to ruin Jay Herbo. But with that even being said, he has not improved this team at all. It's from coaching, mismanagement of games. How do you not set up your players correctly at the end of the game? It's a Hail Mary. You could even put a tight end or receiver all the way back at the end just to catch the ball. Not even catch the ball, swat the ball down. Something simple as that. I'm tired of watching the Bears play in every crucial third down play. He's playing Pop Warner when I'm a guy who I ain't got no NFL coaching experience, but I can read it like a book that you finna run a freaking bubble screen or a dead just dude standing there screen pass on a crucial third down and expect to get something great from that. And it's like it's terrible. The offense looks terrible. His management of the game is terrible. The defense, I don't want to fully get a defense like problems, but the defense don't look good. But it could because they're always on the field because the offense don't look as good. So
go
ahead.
Can I just because I didn't hear what Danny's comment was. I'm obviously getting it secondhand from you. The issue I had and why I was we had the Bears, 2 guys from the Bears podcast on the Chi-Town guys on earlier this year. The reason why I was so adamant that I think the Bears need to consider strongly moving on from Matt Eberflus is because you made it very clear you were going to draft Caleb Williams. So to me, it should have been, hey, listen, it's not that we hate Matt Eberflus. We appreciate Matt Eberflus, but there's some legitimate question about whether or not Matt Eberflus is the long-term solution at head coach for this particular team, given you're bringing in a new quarterback. So tie that new quarterback to a new head coach, whether it's Ben Johnson, whether it's Jim Harbaugh, who has obviously ties to the Bears. Tie those guys together so that way you're saying, okay, this is going to be the group. This duo is going to be the group that leads us for the next, conceptually the next few years. To your point, once you make that decision to retain Eberflus and you don't retain and it doesn't work out, you're right back to square one with the head coach. And again, you got to bring in someone who's going to bring in presumably an offense or at least an offensive play caller and coordinator that's going to work well with Caleb Williams and with the offense that you built. So that was why I was saying Eberflus should have been gone the beginning of this year at the end of last season. And it wasn't, again, a slight to what he did. It was, hey, you made it clear we're going with Caleb Williams. Once you made that decision, Eberflus should be gone.
And then this is the exact video or comment. This is what they call the show now, breakfast ball on FS1. This is Danny Parkins talking about the Bears getting a new coach.
It's history repeating itself. When the Bears drafted Mitch Trubisky, they gave him John Fox, and then they fired him in a year. And so he had 2 coaches in his first 2 years, set him back. Then Matt Nagy's hired, and then they draft Justin Fields, and they give Justin Fields to Matt Nagy, and then they fire him 1 year into his career. So it's 2 head coaches and 2 systems in 2 years. So I'm here to tell you guys, future headline, January 6th, 2025, the Monday after week 18, history repeats itself. Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron will be fired, and Caleb Williams will have 2 head coaches and 2 coordinators in 2 years, just like Justin Fields and just like Mitch Trubisky, just like I said was going to happen 4 months ago. And it's so insane.
But the end statement was the same franchise making the same mistake again. And now, remember when we had shout out to Shot Bulls podcast when they was on, they do Chicago Bulls Central too. We had him on because I understood the point of like giving him he felt like he earned another slight at the job. But when you bringing in somebody new, it might be better just to bring a new face in with him, like you were saying. That make better sense for the long term. Because now it's like, okay, we're gonna give you both you guys time just to develop.
Yeah. There's something to be said, SB, again, when you tie the head coach, quarterback, ideally you'd like to tie the GM to them as well. But even if you can't, tie the head coach and quarterback together. Those 2 guys should be tied together. The moment they're not, you're asking for what, again, the Bears have been through. And again, the Trubisky thing, that's a whole different conversation. But ultimately, again, it comes down to, and this is where I agree with Danny, is it should have been done last year. And I don't want to say let's go back and clip it, because I firmly believe that was going to be a problem for the Bears long term. And again, I expect that I'm not going to say what they're going to do with Matt Eberflus because I don't know. He hasn't been fired. It seems that it's going to head that way toward the season, but it should have been done last year, and the Bears should have a brand new coach right now, not the same retread that you've had for the last few years. That to me is the problem with the Bears. And if the Bears had said, "Hey, we're going to draft Marvin Harrison, we're going to still go with Justin Fields," then I'd have been okay with keeping Eberflus, even though I would have understood if they decided they were going to bring in an offensive-minded guy to be the head coach. But once quarterback, head coach, tie them together and ride with those guys. You make a change at one of those positions, particularly head coach. It's not going to generally be good for the quarterback long term.
And then you missed out on his offensive coordinator for his style of play because your head coaching job, your head coach, Eberflus' job was in question. So we already knew he was 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door. But also, speaking about another team that's 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door, winning and losing, another week, talk about the Cowboys. So I remember last show, we talked about how Trayvon Diggs and Michael Parsons didn't rank Dak in their top 10 quarterbacks. Very understandable. But if you notice early in the show, Austin Rivers capping for his old teammate, capping so much that he's a more skilled player than Joker, who's the best player in the league. Now, I just think it's funny to me, especially with the last game that happened, that I blame the defense, but this last game, the defense can't stop nothing. Can't stop nothing. And then they got Dak on TV after the defense gets scored on saying we bleeping suck. What's your reaction to this? I laugh, of course, but all I'm just saying is crazy that you didn't say your quarterback was the top 10 quarterback, but also y'all ain't doing good on the defensive side of the ball either. Because Michael before this game said for the Falcons, this is the game of the year for them. For us, it's just another game of the week. Turn your podcast off during the season, okay? Turn the podcast off. Turn the podcast off, bro. You got to stop. Y'all got to stop, bro. You shoot your cheddar bobbing yourself all the time, bro. You didn't support your quarterback. Your defense is not looking good. One of the persons that was on that podcast was getting cooked yesterday. Cooked. They was cooking Diggs. No, it is what it is. And then y'all go lose after talking crazy. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Lucky the Giants ain't so trash. The Giants were just decent. The Cowboys could have been at least last in the division. That would be even better. But good, Sean. What's your reaction to all this Cowboy drama?
Did he lie?
No.
Then that's my reaction.
He didn't lie.
He didn't lie. I watched quite a bit of that game yesterday as I was flipping, but that was a game I did have my eye on, and the final score was not indicative of the game.
Oh,
at all.
I don't know how they kept the game even close scoreboard wise. Because how would I look when I was like, because they had like the what they call red zone, we see multiple games, different stuff. So from what I was seeing every time when I was looking, it didn't look like they had a chance at all during the game.
And recall SB, and again, we can go back and clip it. We said this was going to be a gauntlet schedule for the Cowboys, part of the schedule. And it doesn't get much better going forward. So
good luck to them.
They got the Eagles, who seem to have found their mojo, even though Nick Sirianni. Okay. But they got the Eagles this week. It's not going to get better. And we did have breaking news about Dak come out as well.
Oh, yes. Breaking news about Dak. What where is it? I didn't put it in here, but I want to look it up the exact thing. Dak Prescott is to miss multiple weeks with a hamstring injury. Ooh, yeah. And you ain't drafting a quarterback. All I'm just saying.
Well, he just got paid, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon. You have Cooper Rush, who is a solid backup. Obviously Trey Lance will become the backup, and maybe they'll even consider playing him depending on how well Cooper Rush plays. I don't want to say the season's over, but ostensibly the season's over.
Unless they have one of them moments that always happen all the time with these teams, and then we don't hear the end of it. Cowboys quarterback just get injured, and his backup come out of nowhere. Just playing good. Now we back. We the boys. We the Cowboys. Who was the last one? The last one was he was an Italian fellow. I can't think of his name. Who was the Italian guy?
For the Cowboys or the Giants?
No, was it the Giants or was it the Cowboys?
That was Tommy DeVito for the Giants.
Giants. Okay, I'm mixing them up because I was like, but the same thing happened with them too.
The last one with the Cowboys was Dak Prescott coming in for Tony Romo, who got hurt in the preseason, and was like, oh wow, we found something special here. And so again, I mean, obviously, you never want to see anybody get injured. Certainly, it stinks, but sometimes it might be a blessing in disguise that you don't have to be out there playing with that nonsense, because there's a lot of nonsense. They don't do anything especially well at all. And and yesterday, again, when people question Mike McCarthy, some of the decisions yesterday, the jet sweep to CeeDee Lamb on fourth down, when the end is outside of the tackle he's right there. He can see it. He's going to kill the play, which he does. The 4th and 2 fake punt pass, Brian Anger, who's only thrown 2 passes in his career, 1 completion, just that kind of stuff. The miscommunication, on the it was Darnell Mooney's touchdown when he essentially walked into the end zone. It's just a mess, but also a reminder that their logo is appropriate because they got a 1-star rating because that's what they are. Rating.
Now that's about and I'm enjoying every bit of it. Now, speaking of ratings and different teams and moves, the trade deadline is tomorrow, November 5th.
Yes.
What is because I got one that's been I'm told you I got one. But for what you have seen, Sean, around this trade deadline, what rumors have you heard that's like, oh, that's interesting? Or what move you think a team should be making if you was that team?
I think a couple things I would look at potentially, certainly look at, the Lions adding, a pass rusher, an edge rusher. That's been on the table, I think, for, a few weeks.
I think they're trying to get Zadarius Smith if they don't already got him.
No, they don't have him, but I know that they were kind of high on him potentially coming in. There's some other guys, some other teams that you could look at, that could, be sellers tomorrow. I don't think teams are just going to be getting rid of talent just for the sake of getting rid of talent. But I do think if you got guys in the last year of their deal and you want to get ahead of, getting compensation for them versus waiting for compensatory picks to come because if they leave as free agents and they build your team for a certain time, you get compensatory picks. I think you're going to see teams potentially look at doing that. So, I think there's a lot of rumors floating out there right now. Be careful who you're paying attention to in terms of, the rumors, because there's a lot of non-credible sources out there. I don't want to speak any names in terms of who I would follow, but there's some true insiders out here who really are very plugged into these teams and the conversations these teams are having. But that said, I don't expect for 90% of the rumors that are out there floating right now will probably not come to fruition tomorrow. It'll be a few, but it's not going to be 50 guys getting traded tomorrow. That's not happening.
Nah, it's like the NBA. NBA, they be going crazy. For me, before I present the one that peed me off, when I kind of see there's just the thought or the idea of that one. I want to see my Chargers get a wide receiver. Like I don't want Mike Williams, but we need a receiver. I know beggars can't be true saying I don't want Mike Williams, but we gotta get a receiver. Somebody. I don't care what we do. A receiver. Let me see what wide receiver trade rumors are available. I know the one Mike Williams name pop around a lot because he was the Jets got Adams, so he's pretty much off like the depth chart list.
Well, and the Jets just lost Alan Lazard for a few games with an injury, so they may not be as prone to trade Mike Williams. Just not knowing when they'll get Lazard back, so that could be something that's maybe not on the table anymore. Again, there's been conversations. Could the Rams trade Cooper Kupp? That's been, I think, part of the conversation. Adam Thielen, I think you just mentioned his name. He could be on the table, potentially, as a move as well.
Come on, Cooper Kupp, you don't got to sell your house. You don't got to move nothing. You just got to – you're already in the same stadium. You're just going to go to the other side of the stadium in the locker room. That's it. We can just keep it there. You keep add the gear color close to the same. But also, they said the top 5 people that might get traded from this on CBS Sport, written by Cody Benjamin. They said the top 5 people might get traded: Adam Thielen, Mike Williams, Kendrick Bourne, Zadarius Smith, and Sebastian Joseph Day. Yeah, I can see majority of them probably getting more, especially Zadarius Smith for sure, because I think the Lions, that's the cheapest pass rusher they could probably get for the money that they're trying to spend.
Yeah,
But
and there was also something that came out of SB just about a lot of guys who could be on the trade block are really interested in going to Washington.
yes,
So so that's the other thing too, is how active is Washington going to be in the trade market, knowing that a lot of guys really would be interested in coming there and playing this season. So that'll be interesting to see.
is that one player, Caleb Williams? Because he did want to go to Washington originally. He probably ain't. Probably upset.
Yeah, I don't think that's on the table, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Also, the rumor that I'm mad about is that the Chiefs are rumored that they're trying to get Tyreek Hill back, which is a long shot, but they try to get Marshon Lattimore from your Saints. If they pull this off, they cheating, son. I don't even care no more. Like, y'all cheating, bro. How was y'all go get Tyreek Hill back? And so you're gonna move contract. Mahomes' contract gonna turn to a penny this year to make this happen. But you gonna get Tyreek Hill back, and then you go get Marshon Lattimore. Like, all right, come on now, man. Come on now, man. Sean, come on. This ain't cheating at this point.
No, I mean, listen, if it works within the salary cap and they have the assets to move to bring in players, it's not cheating. They can't listen. It's not Madden. Two teams have to agree to a deal. They can't force a trade. So anything's possible. Again, I think the Marshon Lattimore thing would be probably a little more realistic in this scenario than Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill just got an extension from the Dolphins, right. I believe. So, do the Dolphins necessarily want to take that type of cap hit and still really like Tyreek Hill they just got Tua back, and certainly, Jalen Waddle's there. I don't think they're necessarily looking to make that move, but again,
the problem is the Tyreek Hill one is just like a distraction for like somebody else because they're gonna get another receiver. So pretty much they're finna get a wide receiver in the corner. And that'll be crazy. But last but not least, in the most important story, Saquon Barkley has probably pulled off one of the greatest highlights that we ever seen. This man did a backwards hurdle over a player, Sean. A backwards hurdle. That might be, is that the greatest play or greatest highlight ever? Or running back, even if you want to just put it in running backs, but I think that got to go in like the top 10, top 5 all time of any highlights to juke the first defender, spin the second one, and then go for a spin, but couldn't get the spin and just jump over him backwards. That's crazy. I was amazed. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, yeah, nah, this man ain't real.
I mean, listen. It was an amazing play. To have that amount of spatial awareness, but also if you've ever seen Saquon squat, and it's not surprising that he was able to pull it off. I just don't know if anybody else could pull it off like that.
Hey, give me a scale of 1 to 10 that you think he walked into the facility this morning would have said he got to walk in the room in the back real quick for us after that play.
8.
Oh yeah, they definitely go ahead. Hey, here's a cup right here, sir. Let's go ahead. Did you tear your ACL not too long ago? But only thing I thought of though, Sean, when that play was when the guy said, "I'm gonna have nightmares. I'm not gonna be able to sleep at night." And Saquon was at Philly. I just think somebody just need to have that highlight on like repeat and just have him saying that back to back and just put the Undertaker dong behind it. I'm gonna have nightmares. Just put the Undertaker sound right behind when he said it.
Yeah, and again, the hyperbole is to say, it was a crazy play. I mean, there's been a lot of crazy plays in the NFL. I was thinking about the Cincinnati receiver who flipped into the end zone over a defender. There's been some amazing plays, but it doesn't come as a surprise. These guys are some of the best athletes in the world, and again, we've seen guys hurdle guys, obviously. But to hurdle a guy,
backwards,
was and again, the spatial awareness to recognize where that guy was, and he gets down quick enough that he doesn't take a major hit. Because a lot of times, obviously, you leave your feet, you're asking for guys to light you up. So,
which will happen. Speaking of guys getting light up. The sad part of the show, in injury bug of the week. Who you got, Sean?
Certainly Dak Prescott. I know we joke about the Cowboys a lot, but when you lose your starting quarterback, it definitely stinks. So certainly Dak Prescott would be my initial injury bug of the week because again, definitely stinks.
Yeah, I have to agree with Dak. And also what slipped through our the cracks of the story, so your injury bugs. CMC is back practicing too. So maybe the 49ers will actually start back looking like something because CMC is back. But you ask, who's that valuable? I mean, one guy going, that offense don't look the same.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying, Sean, shout out to CMC.
Salute Bees.
Salute Bees. Bees in the chat. Salute Bees. Salute Bees. What up? But also, Sean, favorite tab of the show, pick of the week recap. I think I got you this week.
We'll see.
You ready?
Week 9 recap. First game, Dallas at Atlanta. We both took Atlanta. Atlanta obviously won that game.
Mm-hmm.
Miami at Buffalo. We both took Buffalo. Buffalo won that game on a last second field goal, 61-yard field goal.
It's crazy, by the way. That was crazy.
Yeah. He needs to be tested as well. Las Vegas at Cincinnati. We both took the Bengals. The Bengals did win that game, of course. Big game this week coming up. Cincinnati and Baltimore, but we'll talk about that on Friday, of course. LA Chargers at the Cleveland Browns. You took your Chargers. I took Cleveland. The Chargers did win that game.
So I told you to go put them beatings on that boy.
That was one. Yeah. Next game, New England at Tennessee. I took the Patriots. You took Tennessee. Tennessee won in overtime.
Let's go to the key. Yeah, y'all came through for your boy. And Tiffany, that's how you beat the Browns. Not like y'all trash Ravens. But okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway, next game, the New York Giants. We both took Washington. Washington obviously won that game. Next game, New Orleans at Carolina. We both took the Saints. Saints lost that game. Next game, Denver at Baltimore. Baltimore crushed the Broncos. So, big win for Baltimore. People were acting crazy about Baltimore losing last week. Come on, it's the Ravens. Like, they don't lose 2 in a row.
Let's not lose 2 in a row.
Yeah, let's not go crazy. Next game, Chicago at Arizona. You took Chicago. I took Arizona. Arizona did beat them by 20. Next game, Jacksonville at Philadelphia. We both took Philadelphia. Philadelphia did win. Game of the day, Detroit at Green Bay. You took Detroit. I took Green Bay. Detroit did win that game. Very concerned about Jordan Love. Not just the injuries, but also the interceptions because I don't know.
He ain't been the same since he put that jersey on, Sean. He got three more.
He needs a seance. Next game, LA Rams at Seattle. Rams won that. We both took Seattle. Rams won that game in overtime, walk-off touchdown by Demarcus Robinson. Next game, Indianapolis at Minnesota. On Sunday Night Football, we both took Minnesota. Minnesota did win that game. And so SB does win week 9. It is 5-4.
Yeah. We back, baby. We back, baby. We was
on
a losing streak.
Yeah, week 10 is up this week. We got some good games this week to pick from. Some good games, but definitely look forward to breaking them down on Friday. And as Tiff mentioned, Baltimore and Cincinnati play this Thursday night, so that will not be a part of our picks this week. But
we'll miss out on it. But Sean, another great episode of Real Takes Over Fake Debates as always. Also, guys, the Chiefs games the Chiefs versus Buccaneers game is coming on in a second. Me and Sean got to go and get us watch the football in. But episode 15, Sean, who you got?
I mean, he's playing tonight.
Patty, you going Patty?
Yeah. I mean, there's some other 15s I could think of, but definitely Patrick Mahomes. You know what? Let me shout out. Just got his jersey retired this past weekend.
That's what I thought she was going.
Yeah, Vince Carter. Good job by Toronto burying the hatchet and raising the banner. And I heard Drake caping on the
you got to get that attention.
Such a cornball.
But Canadian, man. The Canadian stuff.
And let me ask them real quick, SB. Who's next for Toronto? Who's next to get a jersey retired for you?
Probably Cal Lowry. It gotta be Cal. I think Cal Lowry gonna retire before everybody else. So it gotta be Cal Lowry, right? Who you got? You gave it look like I said the wrong name.
It's Chris Bosh.
Oh yeah, I forgot Bosh. What he do in Toronto besides just get All-Stars though?
He was five-time All-Star in Toronto, led him to the playoffs.
I mean, if Vince getting his jersey retired with the Nets, that kind of opened up Pandora box. Also, want to say that,
and he's in the Hall of Fame.
And he's Hall of Fame, but the Raptors kind of petty because they should have did right by Vince on his own. I'm glad it's happened. Beggars can't be choosers. I'm glad it happened, but they made sure they did it before. They made sure they retired Vince's jersey first. So once they announced the Nets announced it, we can't let that happen because that would have made their franchise look real bad.
Right, yeah, and I think the Raptors did Vince first because he was the one who kind of put the franchise on the map. Then I think again Bosh, and then to your point, I think after Bosh, it's probably Lowry and DeRozan, of course.
Yeah, gotta retire the greatest Raptor, but also my number 15s, because I definitely was gonna go Vince, but they gotta go Melo, gotta go Melo, and one of my favorite players in college because he played. I rock with UConn and Michigan State. Kemba Walker.
Yeah.
One of the greatest college shots.
And let me go with another number 15 just because, I'm petty. Joker.
Who gonna get their 15 retired?
Oh, that's easy. Joker.
Yeah, Joker. They Melo ain't get his jersey retired just because of that. I mean, they might do both. They might. Yeah, it's tough, my boy Melo.
But Joker's getting it first. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. So. And then it sucks though that because I know Melo was complaining that said people gonna forget his legacy. I'm like, they ain't gonna forget your legacy, but it don't help that Jokic took your jersey number, and then now the kids love LaMelo Ball, and he took your nickname. So your jersey, your nickname gone. Yeah,
well, you don't own Melo. Both of y'all have Melo in your name. You don't own Melo.
This is different. If I ask you who Melo is, who you gonna say? Basketball.
Today, LaMelo Ball, because he's playing.
That's crazy. Oh no, John Carmelo.
No, I'm just saying he's playing like he's actually playing and he's playing really well, by the way.
Oh yeah, but, he been hooping.
But it's just because he's playing, he's active. Like, it's, when you just kind of what it is. So nothing against Carmelo, but,
nickname gone. Nickname gone.
LaMelo is playing, so yeah.
That's man, nickname gone and his jersey number. Is the Knicks going to retire his 7?
No.
That's crazy.
No, because here's the problem. The Knicks are very finicky about what numbers they retire. So like Bernard King doesn't have his number retired.
What?
No. The Knicks are very finicky about what numbers they retire. When you look up in the Raptors, you see their retired numbers. They are very finicky about what numbers they retire.
But Bernard King number not retired. Matter of fact, it makes sense because Bernard King number is 30, right?
Yes.
Julius Randle would just win 30. They disrespectful. But if anybody jersey should be retired, it's Bernard King. I thought it was him and Clyde, right? And who else?
That have their jersey retired?
Yeah.
So you have Willis Reed, you have Patrick Ewing, you have Clyde Frazier, you have Earl Monroe, you have Dick McGuire. I'm sorry, not Dick McGuire. No, yeah, you do have Dick McGuire because Dick McGuire and Earl Monroe both had the same jersey number retired. And you have, I believe, Dick Barnett. I think his jersey is retired as well.
And did you say Patrick Ewing too, right?
And Patrick Ewing, yes.
That's crazy. They don't really got Bernard King. Why though? Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm cool with all the names I'm seeing, though. Like you said, I'm rocking with all the names, but ain't no way you ain't got Bernard King jersey retired. But we'll talk about that on another episode of the show.
Yeah,
Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody tuning into the show. SB, Sean, there's been another great episode of Real Takes Over Fake Debates, and we're going to see you guys on Friday. We out.
Real takes over fake debates.
Rucker Man.